Oh, hear that? Oh, oh, fastest car in the world. Well, that's not a good start, hey y'all, welcome back to Doug's Cars. I'm standing here at the beautiful Atlantic Ocean here in Fernandina Beach, Florida, and I have in front of me the fastest car in the world. I'm not kidding. It's a rental car, so obviously it's the fastest car in the world. Fun story, my girlfriend was supposed to fly home last night from New Orleans, and her flight was canceled, so she had to rent a car, and then she shows up in this Versa, Nissan Versa. I believe it's sold as an Almera in other parts of the world, but it is definitely a Versa here, and it's definitely traveled a bit. Well, it's only got 4,000 miles on it. It was manufactured in September of 22, so a couple months ago really, and that trim, that one's nice and solid. This one's leaving a little bit to be desired. I haven't driven a new car in a while, and I haven't driven what we used to call an econo box in quite a while, so we're gonna have some fun with the fastest car in the world before we have to take it back and drop it off at the airport tonight and turn it in. Yeah, you know, front end looks pretty good. It's actually a pretty good looking little sedan for an econo box. You know, it's got you know, decent Continental tires actually, and yeah, they are 16s. You know, silver. I think with a black roof this would really look nice. It's a fairly basic model, SV. I don't know what that stands for in the Nissan world. Special value, super value, nah, I don't know. So let's take a look around this little car on the inside and we'll take it for a ride. All right, well, it's a rental car, so obviously someone sneezed here. Interesting, the window switches are not really labeled other than the A for the driver's side for automatic. I guess they ran out of print face there because it's too expensive. A lot of no smoking stickers everywhere, as you can imagine. No armrest. There's no center armrest. That's a bit of cost cutting. No thank you. There are things I'd rather not have. One thing I definitely want, an armrest. So let me go ahead and start this up. The start button's down here. It is keyless. Heck, I wouldn't mind having a key. Well, I would rather not have a CVT ever under any circumstances. A 6-speed manual right here, and give me an armrest, fold down armrest right here. But yeah, one thing I do like, I drove this car just around the parking lot of this building where we met. I like the fact that it has a regular speedometer, like a normal like that, but it's got all the digital stuff over here, and you can page through all of these settings, customized display, tire pressure, maintenance, all those lovely things. I wonder what languages we have. I bet it's going to be Spanish, French, and English. Yep, that's what I thought. You know, all very nice, easy to use buttons here on the steering wheel. You know, yeah, I mean, this is incredibly hard plastic, but you know, what do you expect? It's a little tiny. Definitely cutting the AC on because it is 71 degrees out at the moment, which I thought would be warmer than that. Okay, let's go back to, you know, how do we get back to that now? I don't know where the home screen is. There we go. We're back at the home screen. It's got the radio display, 4,942 miles showing. If I can get the glare away, yeah, maybe down there. And you know, it's a fairly pleasant place to be, except for the fact that, did I mention there's no armrest? Like, I'm just gonna lean over into the passenger when I drive this. You know, you've got it's fairly soft touch with the fake stitching. No, that's hard plastic. Well, cute little glove box with, you know, owner's manual and whatnot in there. Very nice to use. Controls here with nothing shows up on the display, which is good. You know, you can change that, and nothing shows up here. You don't have to do any of this on a screen, which you know, any modern expensive car is going to do. Thankfully, this does not have that. You know, obviously shifter here, USB there, two little USB ports here, which are nice. Underneath where the armrest should be. Yeah, there's just interesting seat upholstery. They've got this weird woven effect, and then just kind of a black and a gray. I don't know, I think they look pretty good actually. And they splurged on the floor mats, which not only have a hook, thankfully, but they say the name of the car on them. And again, that 38 cents could have been better spent putting in an armrest for the actual comfort of the driver, as opposed to just, well, I mean, it is a sea of black and gray, so maybe that extra little bit of gray type helps. Yeah, I mean, it's a modern car. I don't drive these very often because I'm stuck in the Land Rover world. Ooh, hey, we've got a pull out extra sun visor and a non-lit. Let's see. Ooh, oh, is this one lit? Nope, that's okay. But ooh, hey, yeah, we got some lights up here. Not LEDs. That's interesting. Rearview mirror. I guess there's some electronics in here for. It looks like I might have frontal collision warning. That's all in all of this. And I was presented with this basically brand new Versa about 30 minutes ago, and had to do some quick research on these and grab my camera. So here we are in the Versa. The back seat is currently occupied with a bag, which probably can fit in the trunk. I don't see a fold-down rear armrest, which is unfortunate. So there's some comfort loss back there, but at least it matches the front. But we do have height-adjustable seat belts and grab handles in the front and rear, even for the driver. So if you're really doing something stupid, you can definitely hold on while also, you know, using your other hand on the steering wheel. Let's see, this is auto down. Yeah, is this auto up? Oh, and it's auto up. Look, Ma, no hands. But the other ones are completely unlabeled, which is weird. And while they do function nicely, that's strange that they just didn't see fit to label those at all, when everything else on here, on this panel, is labeled, and there's a little tiny thing to grab, I guess. And then we've got another cup holder down here to go with the ones that are down here. So, yeah, wow. That is like, look how shiny that is. That's not real carpeting. I don't know what that is. That's like sound deadening or sound insulation or something. So there's definitely some cost cutting in here. The steering wheel is vinyl as well, but that's to be expected in this price point. These are not expensive cars. And hey, look, there's the ocean. Why don't we take this for a ride? We'll come back here and check out what the car is like in the trunk and under the hood, just because nobody watches those parts anyway. Safety third, as always. All right. This is a CVT transmission, so no real gears, right? It's a Jatco made. There's like a bunch of chains and witchcraft. If you want to know more about those, I would definitely recommend checking out the Car Wizard's video where he goes through and cleans one of these. They basically fill up with shards of metal. If you maintain them, they're not as bad as far as longevity, but they're still not, they're just kind of drony and whiny, and you know, I would rather have a stick shift myself, but one doesn't really hold on this little hill here that often, that well. See, it's got, it has, there we go. Oh, wow. Oh, hear that? Oh, fastest car in the world? Nope. This is a 35 zone. It had, I mean, I realized it was on a little hill there, but man, it didn't do a whole heck of a lot. Made a lot of noise, which hopefully the microphone picked up. But okay, all right, I'm going 35, which is the speed limit here. And I don't hear anything rattling. That's great. It only has 4,900 miles on it. And you know, there's luggage and coffee cups and whatnot in the car, so there are things in here that could rattle. So that's good. I like that. I would pay like, you know, $100 extra a month on a car payment to have a car that doesn't rattle. That's just me. So hey, that's a score for this car. Now, since this is like a super baby sister of an Altima, we know this thing's going to be, you know, driven into the ground. Wheel covers are going to be missing. Mirrors will be dangling. Plus, it's a rental car, so this is not going to have an easy life. It's got a North Carolina tag on it. She picked the car up in Mississippi, and now it's in Jacksonville, Florida. And okay, it definitely has the thing that tells me I'm leaving the lane. There's a guy running over there on the side of the road. So it vibrated the steering wheel. Unless it was just the road that did that. I didn't see anything show up on this display, so I don't know. But all these cars have these new technologies. So let me run over the line here again and let's see what happens if it does it again. Yep. Oh, and it did. It blinked. The little thingy here in the center display blinked a little bit. So that was interesting. Good to know. And it wasn't that ridiculously obtrusive. I legitimately was crossing the yellow line, double yellow line. First time I experienced this was in like in a 2019 RAV4, and I was driving on I-5 in Seattle, and they were doing construction, and go around the traffic circle and no one knows what they're doing in these. Quartering on the door handles, yeah. There was a lot of body roll in that. I know the Altimas actually handle well for what they are, which is why people drive them like they're going nuts. But this one had quite a bit of body roll. But maybe the Almera that it's based on, which I think is also a Renault platform, because Nissan and Carlos Ghosn and all that situation. Yeah, okay. Driving on I-5 in that RAV4, and they had repainted the lines, and it was triggering over the ghost lines from where they used to be in the construction zone, and it was just a nightmare. And every time I started the car up, I had to turn it off. It was incredibly frustrating. But this one, you know, this is a few years newer. This is a model came out, I think, in 2019, and this is a September build. This could very well be a 2023. The label on the door jamb doesn't say, it just says the production date of 9/22. So it's either the last month of a 2022 production or the first month of 23. I know they got a slight upgrade in the styling department for 23, but I can't tell. So feel free to let me know in the comments if you know, because I've looked everywhere I know where to find the age of a car on this car, and I haven't been able to. So, you know, it cruises along fairly nice. Like she was telling me, you know, driving on I-10 across the state, it wasn't as, doesn't feel as substantial or solid as to anything that we're used to driving, and it feels like plastic. But if you're not used to driving a modern, small, inexpensive car, it's going to feel like you're just driving a piece of plastic 3 inches off the ground. But you know, it feels fine to me. The steering, I'm wiggling the steering a little bit, and you know, there's not much play in it. It's not like a 1970s Buick or something. So I don't know. It would not be my first choice for a car, but as a rental, you know, it's got a decent enough amount of room. I have not really changed the seat from where she was sitting. I adjusted the steering wheel, and I don't even feel that cramped. I mean, I will say my right leg is up against the center console, but you know, it's a smaller car. That's to be accepted and understood. The last time I drove something like this was the Dacia Logan when I was in Romania. Oddly enough, due to current events, I've actually been to Jerry's Pizza, which figured prominently there was, I don't know, some dude who apparently everyone on the internet knows, but I've never heard of, got in trouble for yelling at that girl who hates cars. So, yeah, anyway, that's a fun video, other than the fact that I filmed it on this little tiny handheld camera, and I had basically no time to do anything to set up or prepare, and I didn't have any way to hold the camera while I was driving, so I never got to drive that car with the camera on. It was my rental. It was 20 euros or something. 5-speed manual, little 3-cylinder, had AC, which was nice, although I didn't need it because it was winter. And just, that was a fun little car. I understood why James May loved the Dacia. So this is on a like newer version of that platform, because this is a Renault, as they called it when I was a kid. And oh, I get some engine noise here. Get away from that. Oh yeah. Oh, it's got the little thingies in the mirrors that tell you that there's somebody on the side of the road too. So yeah, all the fancy modern electronics are in this. You know, it's got a decent size screen. You know, it's good basic transportation. If you take care of that CVT and do the fluid changes and the filter changes that are actually required, I think you could probably get a decent amount of miles out of this. Now, would you want to drive this at 200,000 miles? Probably not, but you know, there's not too many cars that you would want to drive at 200,000 miles. Other than my Land Rover LR3, of course, is perfect. Absolutely nothing wrong with it at 240,000 miles. But acceleration here. Okay, that's floored. Oh man, see, it's just there's no gears, so it's just like. Want to hear the most annoying sound in the world? It's a CVT engine, transmission, combination. Yeah, I caught myself. Yeah, I'm sure this Almera, whatever they call it in the rest of the world, is sold with a manual transmission. But since Americans don't know how to drive them and all that, we don't get them anymore. This would be a fun car with a 6-speed manual. This would absolutely be a fun car. So if you have the ability to try one of those out, please do. I certainly don't at the moment, but I had to jump at this opportunity to drive this thing, because why not? It's the fastest car in the world. How often do you get to do that? I'm gonna head back now, and we'll take a look under the hood and see the beast that lurks within, and we'll just check out the trunk, because why not? You know, I just don't have the ability right here on this part of the island to get this up to highway speeds, but it's just going to be droney. And you know that this part of the road here is actually a little bit buckled because it's paved over sand, and you could definitely feel the car. You know, maybe the suspension isn't totally broken in yet, but it's a small Econobox with you know, fairly rough suspension. I imagine in the rest of the world, that where they get these that are probably like two-door hatchbacks or something, they'd probably be even more jumpy and fidgety. But you know, I don't feel like, it doesn't feel unsafe, but you're not going to get a luxury car ride out of this. So, and with that, let's go back to the studio or the parking lot, and yeah, you got it. There you can see the gauges while I'm moving. Yeah, no tack. I have no idea what revs I'm doing, which doesn't matter because I can't shift you. Oh, hey, there we go. Hey, look, that's what happens when you go over the line. Okay, that's not terrible. Oh, it even has the doohickeys that turn when you back up. All right. Wow, that's actually a pretty good sized trunk. And again, another mat that says Versa on top of a mat that's already there. Donut spare. This is like fiberboard with these blocks like you'd get when installing a windshield, and a jack. All right, so that's probably just for extra sound deadening, but again, I turned that in for an armrest. Semi-finished trunk. Again, not too shabby. Let's see what it sounds like when it closes. That's fine. Oh, good. It's starting to rain, the bane of every YouTuber. Let's hop the hood and see what that looks like. Ooh, that's cute. He's running, as you can see. Yeah. There's the prop rod way back there. Okay. So yeah, cute little 4-cylinder. Ticking away. Gotta love direct injection. Oh, AC compressor just came on. Everything looks pretty accessible. Oh wow. The battery actually says Renault on it because it's French, or French owned. Oops. Hey y'all, this has been a fun little ride. I'm glad I had the opportunity to drive this little car, even if it happened because of a missed flight. But thanks y'all so much for watching Doug's Cars. I haven't been able to do a new car in a while and really enjoyed this, and I hope y'all have as well. More fun stuff coming soon, and they won't be Econoboxes, I promise. Thanks so much for watching Doug's Cars. Hit subscribe. Every little bit helps. This is my full-time job right now, so I appreciate it. Have a great day.